Hello, and welcome to Jumpin' Johnny Gaming. This is part 7 of the complete walkthrough of the remastered version of Super Mario RPG for the Nintendo Switch. Here we will take back Bowser's Castle, travel to Weapon World, and get the final star and complete the game. Return to Nimbus Land and return to the palace and talk to Mallo's parents, and they will activate a bus for you to take to Bowser's Castle. Fast travel to Moleville and head to the item shop and buy all the things from the Blue Toad. One will be a mystery egg, which can be used to unlock the Lamb's Lure, and a metal plate, which is a good upgrade for Peach's weapon, so you want to equip it right away. And also, equip the nature ring you would have acquired a long time ago on Peach, so we can get the Lamb's Lure, a completely optional item. Fast travel to Mushroom Way and enter battle with the Goomba. Don't attack the Goomba, and with Peach, use the mystery egg in the item menu and do it 10 times, and it will turn to the Lamb's Lure. Using the Lamb's Lure will automatically turn an enemy into a lamb and be taken off battle. The trade-off is you won't get any XP or gil. Fast travel back to Nimbus Land and head to the left side exit to take the bus to Bowser's Castle. If you want to get XP from enemies, don't have Bowser in your party. Most of the enemies will run away if Bowser's in your active party. But even if he's not in the party, some of the enemies will be confused and won't attack. Head up through the linear path of Bowser's Castle and you will face the strongest versions of classic Mario enemies. I used Peach and Geno for the majority of Bowser's Castle. You will face Terracottas, Koopa Troopers with swords, which they will attack you with, Pro Goombas, which does all the moves that normal Goombas does. Also, don't forget you have new weapons, with new triggers for double damage. Geno's when he bends his arm and about to fire, and Peach when she's about to hit with the pan. Two new enemies that you can face, stronger versions of Krusties, weak to ice, and it will counter-attack normal attacks with an attack that can put you to sleep, and stronger versions of Forkies, and again they won't attack you until you attack it, so always leave it to last, and they have a strong storm spell that they use on top of attacking you with its fork. This area is full of small and large versions of Koopas. They are both weak to lightning and attack exactly like previous versions of the enemies. Always attack the big ones first as they take 2 turns to attack. This area is dark. Follow the path, then turn the next left for a chest, and then head right and up to exit. In this respite room, you have a save point and Croco, who now I guess is selling all his stolen goods to you, handy to top up, and then the next area, you have to complete 4 out of 6 doors, and they are random, so my door 1, which was a battle stage, you might get a different stage, but all 6 are the same though. You get 2 battle stages, 2 puzzle stages, and 2 action stages that you get. And, to get some new weapons, you want to do the battle and action stages, as puzzle stages only reward you with a rock candy. If you get a puzzle stage, which you will know as a giant Hammer Brothers will host it, just fail or quit on purpose and get thrown out. The first door that I went through is an action stage, 3 levels of platforming. This one, the first area, signified by 3 Koopas, and if you notice, if they jump, you can see the invisible platforms. So navigate by jumping when you want to see the floor, and in action stages, there's a lot of good items that you can get, but I never went out of my way to get some, as I was maxed out on most of them, and didn't really want to fail, as you get 10 mistakes, like falling off or getting damaged. And if you make 10 mistakes, you will have to restart the whole course again. Also, each mistake will cost you 8 coins, but don't worry about coins too much, you will get unlimited coins later. The next area, you just have to navigate from one moving platform to the next until you reach the other side. The final stage is a classic reference to the original Donkey Kong and Mario's debut game. You have to jump over barrels that a monkey is throwing at you. They usually get thrown in threes, and listen for the monkey to make a noise, and he throws a random barrel which will go down the walls instead of rolling on the floor. If a barrel touches you, it will count as a mistake. You get the Super Slap for completing the stage. It's a weapon for Peach, but it's not as powerful as the frying pan. The second door I got is the battle stage, where you will face a gauntlet of 10 groups of enemies brought in by Magikoopa. If the first battle is terracottas, then this is the hardest of the two, but if you're leveled up in your 20s, it shouldn't cause any problems. I'll edit so you just see the battles, as the path is pretty linear. There will be a few new enemies that you haven't faced before. You will face stronger versions of blasters, and the bullet bills will do a lot of damage and they fire fast. They have a high defense against physical attacks but are weak to lightning. They have a rare attack where one of the bullet bills will be a special bullet called Blazer and can instant KO a party member. The final enemy in the gauntlet is the most powerful version of the treasure chest enemies. It is strong against everything except its one weakness, which is Mario's jump. It will also summon a Bahamut, a reference to the Final Fantasy series, and it's related to the Yoshi family. It is weak to ice and strong against fire. It has biting attacks and will do a fireball attack as well. If you defeat the Bahamut, another one can be summoned. At the end of the gauntlet, you get a star gun, a good upgrade for Geno. The third door I went through is the second action stage that you can get. The first area, once you get the angle line up right, is to jump through various moving platforms. Obviously I found the first jump a bit tricky. Wait until you're close to the second platform, then jump slowly from one to the next, and on the last one, make sure it's at the bottom and you are just above it. The second floor is pretty tricky. You have to jump on the cannonball and your controls will be reversed. Up will be down and left will be right. And you have to navigate to the top and avoid the bombs. If they touch the ball, you will make a mistake. I kept mainly on the left side. The final area is another moving platforms, very similar to the beginning of the game where you step on one platform and the other will start moving around the platform you are on, and then make it go all the way up to the top. The reward at the end is the sonic symbols for Mallow. The fourth and fifth door I entered was the puzzle rooms, and I failed them on purpose, so I can get the final battle level. The first one, which is a quiz, I just pressed the first answer, then got kicked out. And the second one is a game similar to Blackjack, where you have to get close to 21 coins, and I did try to lose, but didn't, and then quit on the second area. Then the final door was the other battle level. This one is much easier with facing enemies from easier areas, and there will be one enemy you won't have faced before. Gino's new weapon, when he turns both arms into guns and the metal bits extend, then press A for the extra damage. Glum Reapers are enemies from Weapon World, stronger versions of the Reapers, low HP and easy to defeat, but has various powerful spells that can cause instant death. The weapon you get for completing this gauntlet is the Drill Claw, a weapon for Bowser that you should equip. Once you've completed 4 areas, you will automatically go to the next area and face Magikoopa. Once you finish Bowser Castle, you can go back and do the other 2 doors if you so wish. The next boss you face is the leader of the Magikoopas, a classic enemy from Super Mario World. If you are leveled up, you won't face the later enemies it summons. I haven't changed any characters or accessories. Peach and Geno is fine to defeat the boss. The boss will have a variety of spells and will start to summon enemies that you won't be able to target the boss until the summoned enemy is gone. Behemoth is summoned first, the dragon that was summoned by the chest in the battle zone. The 2 enemies he summons after, which I never got, is King Bomb, an enemy you briefly saw when fighting Puncello. This time will attack you. It uses Big Bang, a very powerful move that damages all your party. It's weak against fire and jump. And the final enemy it summons is a Jinx clone, the optional Sensei Master you can face 3 times in Monster Town. It comes with all the deadly instant death moves the original has. After the battle, the chest that's summoned has unlimited coins if you need any. There is a shop up ahead where you will need to buy some new armor and items if needed. As long as you got 1000 coins, you will be fine, and you can speak to Magikoopa to heal up. Go through the left door and buy all the new armor. I would still buy the hero shirt for Mario, as the lazy shell you can put on Peach as the main healer. Her survivability is essential for some of the boss battles, especially the optional Final Fantasy boss. Exit and go through the right door. The next area is linear before you face another boss. Thwomps are not enemies to battle, they are obstacles that pushes you back. However, there will be a steady stream of bullet bills to battle or avoid, and you will battle the big blasters. Towards the exit is a big thwomp that you have to avoid. You return to the area that you faced Bowser at the beginning of the game. This time you will be facing another member of the Smithy gang, a samurai, and he will have two forms, a red form and a blue form. When he is in the red form, he will be weak to magical attacks, and if you attack him with a physical attack, he will counter with a shaker attack, which will damage your whole party, so you don't want to do that. He attacks with his sword pretty fast, and if you don't block fast enough, it can cause instant death. When you are using Peach's revive move, press A just as the star is about to touch the person, and it will heal all HP as well. The party setup is still the same. Use Geno to boost Mario with Geno Boost, and then himself, and use Mario's Super Fireball and Geno's Beam. When he turns into the blue form, now the opposite will happen. He will be weak against physical attacks, so go all out and use Peach's attack if she does not need to heal, and he will be strong and counter against magical attacks. After the battle, you will be taken up and face the main boss of Bowser's Castle, the giant sword called Exor, and to defeat him, you have to take down his skull on top of his sword, but you can't do that until you knock out its eyes. Also, the eyes will only be knocked out for a while and will come back. On top of that, each eye has to be targeted and will attack, and its mouth is also capable of attacking and can also be knocked out as well. So you will begin the battle with having to defend yourself against a barrage of attacks until you start disabling the eyes and mouth. Exor will do quick physical attacks and projectile attacks from its eyes and has an unblockable flare move which will do a lot of damage to the party. The eyes are weak against fire and jump. Start attacking the eyes with Mario and Geno, and if you are not healing, with Peach, use her to attack the mouth. When its eyes are gone, use Mario to target Exor, and Geno to still target the mouth, and if no eyes or mouth are needed to target, then target Exor, and get into the rhythm of having Mario exclusively target Exor, and the other two to target body parts, to keep them down to stop the flare move. I just used physical attacks with all party members and kept FP for Peach to heal or revive. Once the boss is defeated, you get sucked into Weapon World. You can go back to Mario's World if needed, which I will do, the optional Culex boss, before completing Weapon World. Before I continue on, I'm going to face and defeat the optional boss called Culex. You want to be at least level 22. My party was level 24. It's not essential, but you do get a good accessory. First, fast travel to Moleville. Head up and up the stairs, and enter the house on the left, and talk to the mole, and buy the fireworks for 500 coins. And then exit, and just to the right of the house will be a small mole with a pink bow, and swap the fireworks for a shiny stone. Fast travel to Monster World. The party setup is still the same as Bowser's Castle, except stick the lazy shell armor on Geno, and head to the only door that couldn't be opened in the original visit. You can tell which door as it's a darker colour than the others, and the shiny stone opens it. When you enter the door, you will face a boss in the classic 16-bit Final Fantasy style, complete with Final Fantasy music. This is a reference as the original creators of Super Mario RPG was Square Enix, formerly known as Squaresoft, known for creating the Final Fantasy series. You will face Culex and 4 elemental crystals. This is the strongest boss in the game. If you can defeat Culex, then you'll easily defeat the final boss in the game. Each crystal will do an elemental attack, some blockable, some are not, along with Culex attacking and taking away any buffs your characters have with a move called Shredder. Take down the Wind Crystal first, as it has the lowest HP. Culex uses a powerful move called the Dark Star, and a big star will appear and bounce 3 times. Press A as he's about to land the 3rd time to block the damage. As Geno, always boost Mario up, and when the boosts get taken down, make sure you boost him again. Make sure to press A just as the red arrows are about to disappear, so you can boost his defense as well. When you are not boosting, use Geno's Flash, so you can damage all the crystals, and Culex. Don't be afraid to use any items that are needed. If you got any rock candies, use them, as this will damage all enemies. And use Mario's physical attack against the Wind Crystal is fine, and Peach will mainly be healing, as you get bombarded by so many spells at once. Move on to the Earth Crystal and just target the crystals from right to left. For each crystal you defeat, it will get easier as it will be one less attack at a time. And because of the time it took, Culex runs out of FP and then he can't attack, and then it's just plain sailing to defeat him. You get the Quartz Charm for defeating him. This enables the wearer to get half damage from enemies, protects from instant death, and adds 50% to attacks as well. fast travel back to Weapon World. I swapped Geno with Bowser. Head up and you will come across a nut and a bolt that you jump on it for it to move forward. Very similar to the airship levels in Super Mario Bros. 3. And then save at the save point. Continue on and across the boat. You will face Glum Reapers and a new enemy called a Hippopo. It's weak to lightning and uses various magic attacks. Bowser's new weapon animation is when his right hand is in the air and press A and he does an extra attack with his other hand. Continue on, it doesn't matter which way you go, it all leads to the same path. Another new enemy you can face is Amoeboids, and if you don't defeat it in a single turn, it will split into 5 different Amoeboids. It is weak against fire and strong against jump. Another new enemy you can face is the strongest version of the Boo Ghosts. They're exactly the same and do the same moves. In this area, while getting attacked by lots of Amoeboids, press the green button to complete the green path and exit. Then just to the left of the save point is a hidden treasure with a mushroom. There is a boss fight upcoming. Swap Bowser with Mallow and equip the safety badge on him. Then put the safety ring on Peach. In the next area, you get an Ultra Hammer for Mario, but it's not as good as the Lazy Shell, and then keep going until you face the boss. The boss is a giant clock with 2 ring-a-dings on top of its head. All 3 are capable of attacks. If you defeat the clock first, you don't get no coins after the battle, but you don't really need any. So I defeated the clock first. Each time it shows a different time, it will do a different attack. and it's capable of healing itself with Mega Recover. It's weak against Jump and Lightning, so use Mallow's Shocker attack and Mario's Jump attack. The Ring-a-Dings can do the Dark Star move, which you must defend on the third bounce. Once Countdown has been defeated, use Mario's physical attacks and Mallow's Thunderbolt. After the battle, put Bowser back in, put the safety badge back on Peach, and if you got the Quartz Charm, put it on Bowser. If not, use Booster's Charm. Save your game and continue going right. You will come across conveyor belts that are constantly making enemies, and they can push you off as well. Jump up the first 2 belts to get a treasure chest. The first lot of enemies you can face is machine-made versions of the Axiom Rangers, all with the same moves they used in the boss fight. All machine-made versions of enemies and bosses are weaker than the actual boss fights. Some bosses has more HP to adjust for late game and high level. Then go across the moving grey platform, switching halfway to get to the other side, then exit to the right. Keep moving right past the 3 conveyor belts of unlimited enemies, and like in Mushroom Kingdom, you can get stunned with the incoming arrows, and you will face some new enemies. The drill bits called jabbits are weak against lightning and needs to be targeted first, as they tend to self-destruct like bombs. Then you have the 2 hammer enemies, Pounder and Poundettes. Poundettes are stronger than Pounders. Both are weak against lightning. They attack by, as you would expect, by hammering you. Press A just before they do it. The second enemy on the conveyor belts is stronger versions of Shymores. They are fairly weak enemies, and the final conveyor belt is a machine-made version of Clay Morton, weak against thunder. This area you have to run across the conveyor belts, constantly pushing you off the edge. So run and push the analog to the left and up constantly. If you get pushed off, you can just spring back up to the start. A couple of new enemies accompany the Haiboos. You got stronger versions of the Dolox's puppet, and again it's weak against fire and strong against thunder, and uses strong physical attacks and has a scarecrow status attack, and has a high defense. And then you got the ghost-like Doppers, stronger versions of shadows, and they have very quick attacks. Get the royal syrup from the chest and navigate the belts and use the grey platforms to get to the next belts. There is a max mushroom by the small belt on the left, and continue on. In the next area you can face the machine-made versions of Bauer, still able to randomly block a random button that you can't use. Continue on avoiding or battling the machine-made rangers. After saving at the save point, the next area you have ninja enemies patrolling and a constant barrage of machine-made spear-diviches. Ninjas are weak but quick enemies, and when they're defeated, they will throw a shuriken which you can still block. Head to the left exit to get 2 chests, and then head back and you must defeat Speardivich when it's on top of the brick, so it crumbles and you can reach the next area. The enemy has a couple of different spells than the actual version. Jump down the hole to face 2 bosses, Cloaker and Domino. There will be 2 phases, and the second phase will have a different snake turning up, depending on who you defeat first. Defeating Cloaker, the boss on the left, is easier. Cloaker is the physical attacker and has low magic defense. Domino will cast various magic spells at you. The second phase of the fight, you will have to fight the remaining boss on top of a giant snake. The snake also does magic attacks and can cause poison. Target the snake, don't worry about the boss on top. After you defeat the boss, there will be machine-made enemies still coming down. Head to the left exit and keep going left, and you will face various enemies in charge of the production. First, you will face 3 Mad Mallets. These are weaker than the previous hammer enemies you have faced, and then you will have to face the clerk and 2 Mad Mallets. By this point, like the previous boss, you should be strong enough to defeat mini-bosses with just physical attacks, and heal with Peach. Clark is nothing special, attacks with its weapon. Press the green button and then move on, going left. You will get a chance to buy some items from Toad before moving on. You will face 2 more mini-bosses like the Clerk, each one slightly stronger. Again, very easy to defeat with physical attacks. Save your game and get ready to face a boss. Make sure Peach has the lazy shell. You will face the Factory Chief, who is a ninja type enemy, and a weapon that's similar to the Axiom Ranger weapons. The Factory Chief is capable of poison and turning enemies into mushrooms. The Gunyolk does not need to charge to use the Breaker Beam. It is weak to lightning and ice, and does quick cannon attacks. Target Gunyolk first. It's time to face the final boss in the game. Swap Bowser with Mallow. I would stick the Quartz Charm on him, or the Defense Scarf if you haven't got it. Hit the green switch to be taken to the first phase of the fight. Smithy attacks with his mallet on his right hand and fires projectiles from his left hand, and is capable of a few magic attacks. One is a giant hammer that attacks all the party. There is a smelter in the battle, which will start to pump out Shipers, the strongest version of Shymores. They have one of the most powerful spells in the game, Sword Rain, which damages all the party. So your first priority is to destroy the smelter first. It's weak to lightning, so use Mallow's Shocker and have Mario attack with physical attacks. Defeat Shipers every time they appear. Once the smelter has been defeated, boost Mario's attack with an Energizer or Geno's Boost and use physical attacks. The second phase of the fight is fighting the true form of Smithy, and after a couple of attacks, Smithy can reshape his head into 4 different heads, all with different attacks, defenses, and weaknesses. They are random, and I never got the treasure head, which if you do get it, it will randomly attack with various status effects and is weak to fire. Change Mallow to Bowser and get as much physical attacks at his normal head. This is the only time its normal head will appear. You can target its body and disable it for a while, so it stops doing its extra physical attack, but if you're strong enough you can weather the attacks and it will disable by splash damage. If you are underleveled, then keep taking out the body first before attacking the head. The tank head has high physical attacks. It will fire bullet bills at you, it has high defense and can do instant death moves. It is weak against lightning attacks, so use Mallow's shocker attack. The magic head will use powerful magic spells. It has a weak defense, so get Bowser back and do physical attacks. The casket head is designed to heal Smithy up, and it has a high defense to weather your attacks, but it's weak to ice. It will use Shredder to take away any buffs your characters have. Switch Bowser with Mallow and use Mallow's snowy attack, and use any ice bombs you have. Once defeated, enjoy the ending and save the game when prompted. So when you start from the cleared data save, you can do the post-content bosses, which we will be covering in the final part of the walkthrough, so join us for part 8. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel where there are achievement and trophy guides, secrets and tips from the latest releases to classic retro games. Thanks for watching.